This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
When was the last time you felt inspired? Are you ready to take your passions to make a difference while living a life you truly love? Your host, Katana Abbott, who is a life and legacy wealth coach and certified financial planner, searches the world to bring you experts in the field of personal and professional growth, wealth creation, and mind, body, and spirit. So grab a cup of coffee and take that quantum leap you've been waiting for. Smart Women Talk Radio. The link to live with purpose, passion, and prosperity.
Hello, everyone. This is your host, Katana Abbott, and I am so excited to have you on Smart Women Talk today. And this is where I really do search the world for smart women and a few good men, and this includes best-selling authors, thought leaders, and change agents who are on that leading edge. So we have topics like money, business, health, inspiration, the metaphysical, and today we're going to even talk about sex and power. That's right. I've got returning guests from founders of the Warrior Stage Trainings and the Awaken Leader Intensive. Their names are Satyan and Suzanne Raja. So we're talking about the future of sex, money, and power, which is the ruin of many, the liberation of a few. Okay, I've got goosebumps. I don't know about you, but this is going to be an exciting show. And this idea of sex, power, and money, okay, these are raw, primordial energies that have destroyed many lives. But they form the very magnet that can blast open the limitless and the enlightenment of a few. And I have been working, my personal quest is to find a way to access the divine, to access that wisdom field on command. And I have a feeling we're going to be able to get some of that from Satyan and Suzanne today. So we're going to talk about reclaiming that relaxed center of power in your core and being able to clarify and add effortless power to your direction and impact. We're also going to talk about letting go of the excessive willpower, this control that you're exerting that's silently defeating you. I'm really interested in that one. And, of course, how to relax into a state of joy, harmony, and equilibrium with the wealth that you have. So first, I always like to do a tip. And today, my tip is based on one of our, if you sign up for Smart Women, if you go to smartwomengift.com, you're going to join Smart Women's Empowerment, which is our nonprofit, and you'll get 100 days of inspirational quotes by women. So that's where I get these quotes from normally. So here's one by Marianne Williamson. Everything we do is infused with energy with which we do it. If we are frantic, life will be frantic. If we're peaceful, life will be peaceful. And so our goal in any situation becomes inner peace. So we've got a little bit of noise here in the background, so I'll have to see what that is. Our internal state determines our experience of our lives. Our experiences do not determine our inner state. So that, again, was Marianne Williamson. So I find the quote interesting because I believe our early childhood experiences create our beliefs. And our beliefs create our thoughts, and thus how we show up in the world and how we react to new experiences. You know, we get triggered. And so this idea of this inner peace that we're going to be talking about today and that Marianne is talking about here, this idea of joy, abundance, love, I believe for most of us that's the goal. But getting there can seem futile because of how our mind works. So one of my favorites is The Biology of Belief. It's a book by Bruce Lipton. And he's a quantum physicist, and he states that people hear about this idea we're talking about, of living in this inner state of peace. But when they try to attempt it, they often miss it because there's a step missing. And so what is actually missing is the idea that 95% of the time we are operating from a state of we're operating from our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind was created when we were a little child. And up until, what Bruce talks about in his book is up until the age of 6 years old, we are like a little tape recorder, and we're recording every single thing that we feel, we observe, and that we're told, and then we experience. So he calls it a hypnagogic trance. And so if you're told like money doesn't grow on trees, or that you're stupid, or you receive pain, or you're abused, and you get this feeling that I'm not a good person, I'm not good enough, that's what your brain is recording. And guess what happens? To this day, you still believe it is truth. And you may be saying, I do not, there's no way. But I have worked with hundreds of women, 50 years and up, who are still operating from false or disempowering beliefs that were created when they were little girls, even though those beliefs are no longer true. So imagine being triggered by something and your little 5-year-old pops up and starts running the show. So I talk about quite a bit, those who have listened to my talks before, I talk about these money personalities, our money mindsets, and they really do run our lives, and they show up in all areas. So they show up in our health, they show up in our money, and they hold us hostage. So for years I've been offering women these money sessions where we identify their money personality, their false beliefs, and then we clear them through some exercises we do. It's energy work and working with chakras, and just these beliefs are actually stored in our body. So it's a process. So releasing those false beliefs is such a powerful and exciting process. And I've seen women really just have huge breakthroughs and be able to have such transformation in their health, their money, and also just enjoy. And that's that idea of inner peace. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a new program you're going to be able to experience it this summer. It's free because it's funded through a grant through the Smart Women's Empowerment, and it's called Unlock Your Financial Power, where that's just one of the steps I'm going to be taking you through, is learning how to release these disempowering beliefs and unlock your financial power. So so just make sure you're on our list if this is your first time, and you'll get an invitation to the new course. But for anyone who wants to do something right away or learn about this, have a private session, I'm inviting you to go to talkwithkatana.com. And you can schedule a 30-minute complimentary session with me, talkwithkatana.com. Some of you have been doing it, and I've just been having the best time connecting. I love connecting with our listeners. So in the meanwhile, be sure to go to Smart Women Talk Facebook and Smart Women Talk Twitter, whatever you prefer, because Tara is going to be quoting our guests coming up and putting links and tips as we go through the show. So thanks for listening to my tip. You can get more on that again from the Facebook, because I think Tara probably posted a little bit about it there as well. So I know our guests are on the line now, and I want to go get them for you. I'm really excited to have Satyan and Suzanne Raja. Isn't that a beautiful name? Back here, we're going to be talking about sex, money, and power in just a moment. But so let's go to that break, and when we come back, we're going to have some fun. We'll be right back.
Smart Woman Talk is brought to you by the Scalar Center for Restorative Medicine. The Scalar Center provides a natural approach to health not found with traditional medicine. The Scalar Center guides their patients to optimal health by finding and treating the underlying causes of disease. Join us today at scalarcenter.com. That's SKLAR Center.com and take our wellness assessment, get our free hormone ebook, or see if you qualify for a free consult.
Smart Women Talk Radio is brought to you by Smart Women's Empowerment, a 501c3 nonprofit project of the United Charitable Programs. At Smart Women's Empowerment, their goal is to inspire and empower women and girls to live more confident, joyful, and abundant lives by supporting mentoring, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. Join them today at smartwomenscoaching.com for your free prosperity video training, daily inspirational tips, and how to access over 200 radio shows and free resources from their new Smart Women mobile app. Simply go to smartwomenscoaching.com now to get started.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Smart Women Talk, and I'm your host, Katana Abbott. For those just joining us, I'm introducing now our really special guests, Satyen and Suzanne Raja. I want to tell you first a little bit about Satyen, and he has this amazing combination of Eastern wisdom and Western practicality. And he combines the power of the warrior and the wisdom of the sage to inspire audiences worldwide. I mean, it is really powerful, folks. He has a unique blend of power and also of the heart. So in his presence, you are compelled to search within and draw out your own talents. Now, his wife, Suzanne, is the embodiment of true feminine radiance. And she has a deep feminine power. And I was really moved the last time they were on the show when they shared this idea of the divine feminine and the sacred masculine. In fact, I'm going to ask you a little bit about that. So simply being with Suzanne brings men into their depth and women into their natural glow. Suzanne does not just practice what she teaches. She is what she teaches. Suzanne is love. So with that, I invite you to visit their website, and I'm in their Facebook group, which has been really fun and powerful. The website is warriorsage.com. So I'm thrilled to have you both back to share your wisdom and tell us what you've been up to. So welcome to the show.
Well, what a pleasure. Thank you for having us, Katana.
Thanks, Katana. Always fun being with you. I love your inspiration and your positive energy. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I can feel it, and I'm sure our listeners can feel this. We have a lot of energy we're sending out to you today, everyone. So I love your energy, and I love your message. But for people, this is your third time back, and so I know some people know you, but for those that are brand new, either to the show or new to both of you and Warrior Sage, can you just tell us, we love hearing the story, tell us how you met and how you came to do this work together.
We love this story too.
Oh, good.
So we met actually in high school. And that was many years ago, almost 30 years now. And we really liked each other as people. So we weren't dating in high school or anything, but we definitely, the truth be told, I spotted Satyen a mile away. I just saw this man with this glow, and I was like, who is that? And I totally fell for him. And, found out later that, a girlfriend said to me, he's with somebody. And I thought, no, it can't be. And anyway, we were friends in high school because of that. And we had our own partners eventually. And we just, the thing is, we were our coaches first, because we would tell each other, hey, if you really want your partner to notice you, try this. Well, and we'd go back and we'd try it and come back and go, yes, that really worked. Hey, do you have any more tips? And we would share it with each other and celebrate each other's wins. And it was really beautiful to be friends first and then fall in love later and grow into being partners and going through what partners go through our ups and downs, but always coming back to each other. And as we grow, becoming juicier and juicier in passion, in love, and through life experiences, just flowering that and using whatever we had as tools, as soil for growing our deep love and our deep passion.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. So may I ask you, how long have you been together?
Well, it's been 29 years now that we've been a couple. And as Suzanne was sharing, we've had our challenges, especially earlier, coming from two different cultural backgrounds. But that got awakened and healed, and we transformed that. And now we have two amazing young children, and we've been guiding and teaching and loving each other for 29 years now.
You know what's interesting? I don't know if I think it was the last show that we did. We talked about the divine feminine and the sacred masculine, and I had never heard them together that way. And at the time, my husband and I were struggling with power, and because I'm a really powerful woman, and because of my life experience as a child, I had to learn to be a survivor and take care of myself. And I developed this belief when I talked about money personalities. It's basically that I have to take care of myself, or I have to prove I can do it. It's what we're talking about to this day about forcing. And I went through my life that way. And so you can imagine if you're married to someone and that person, let's say, is more introvert and they're controlling of money, he's a security personality, there was this clashing. I was just out this maverick. What do you mean? You can't tell me what to do. I have my own money, and I was just all in this masculine power. When we listened to the show and you talked about surrendering and opening up and stepping into this divine feminine, I hung up, I prayed, and I changed that moment, and I completely changed the way I was treating my husband. And there was almost an immediate healing. And from that point on, he just like a peacock, his fan opened up, and he became the most loving, wonderful, supportive husband I could ever want. And I never had to push anymore. He just gave and gave, and then our marriage has just flourished, and we're having 31 years next month. So I
that's fantastic.
And I really want to thank you for that message, and I want to encourage people to check you out because you walk the talk, people.
Thank you.
So,
well,
anyway.
in our work, we shared that we can either kill the polarity, which is the force of loving attraction, spiritual awakening, and just having a great time with your partner, sexually, heart-wise. We can kill that attraction quality, that energy, or we can neutralize it, right? Or we can enhance it and awaken it, make it bubble, make it brew, and keep it cultivating, so that it's exciting and evokes passion. And one of the things we've realized through the years is that myself, I'm more masculine. Suzanne is more feminine. It doesn't necessarily mean that men are all feminine or all masculine more so, and women are more feminine. That's just a generalization. Just happens to be in Suzanne and I's case, we're that way. And that means I'm more drawn to, my highest value is the seeking and the creating and the offering of freedom. Life freedom, financial freedom, freedom for my family, freedom to do what I want, when I want, with my family, when I want, how I want. And then the feminine...
For the feminine side is, the highest priority. The highest priority is the feeling of, is love being received, and is it being given fully? and completely, without any barriers to that, without any holdback to that. And so for the feminine, one who is more characteristically feminine, their greatest pain is when the flow of love is not open and not clear. And then all kinds of craziness can happen. You can feel that when that is not so. But boy, when you feel the flow of love, when love becomes your priority, love in terms of your relationship is purely flowing back and forth, then life takes on color. Life takes on sound. Life takes on smells and feelings. Life is alive, and everything works.
Oh, I love that. So it's very visual.
Yeah. And there's a dynamic. So, the simple dynamic, if we can get, just how it works, how do you keep it happening? And this can happen when we're in intimate moments, when we're connecting, is, for myself as a more masculine person, when I offer Suzanne more of my presence, meaning I'm there. I'm not distracted. I'm having deep eye contact. I'm smiling. I'm feeling her. I let her know through my posture, my presence, that I'm undistracted, that I'm right here for you, beloved. And when I have that for her, it just opens her up. So the presence is a gift that I can give my feminine partner, Suzanne. And what's beautiful is what she gives back this.
Yes, and I feel so cherished when Satyen gives me his presence. It feels to me as if I am really important to him. And that ignites this flowering in me where I want to invite him to come forth and be in this light that I am, and be in the brightness that I am. All of me awakens in feeling so important to him. And so my gift to him, whether or not he is present, because I don't wait for that. For me, my priority is feeling the flow of love in relationship. And so what I do, imagine a peacock. Now, a peacock actually is masculine. But if you imagine that a peacock, that beautiful display, is actually a feminine aspect of invitation, then what I do is I display my pleasure in the fact that he's in my life. And beloved, look, see, I'll wear something that is exciting for him, or I will, shine my eyes towards him, my smile, my undulation of pleasure. My God, this is who I have in my life. I appreciate you, beloved. Come this way.
Oh my gosh. So I'm listening to this, and I know our listeners are listening to this. So many people, though, are living every day with that alarm clock, and then the coffee, and then getting on the, connecting to the internet. You know what I'm talking about? And then getting in that car and go. And then when you come home, you have all this stuff going on. And so what you're talking about sounds wonderful. How can we in our lives incorporate this, what you're talking about, which is really pleasure, I think. It's that inner joy, because I think it's missing in the world.
Absolutely. I'll give you a very simple example of something that Satyen and I do in the mornings when we connect is, we wake up with this sense of appreciation of we are gifted. We have been so blessed with another day that we get to open our eyes and see each other. And we have this saying, we're so appreciating that we get, I say to him and he says to me, I so appreciate that I get to be with you another day. And so practically I open my eyes or I go upstairs if I'm awake before he is, and I see him and I'm like, beloved, I get to see you another day. And I show him the day and I show him me as the day. And so he gets to see that and experience the invitation of waking up with that joy, like you say, Katana, of noticing my joy in seeing him. And his presence, his presence is that of, beloved, I get to see you. I am here. I am right here. And I am in joy just to witness who you are in my life.
So it's almost like, people need to, this is just my thought, is, if you do have a rushed morning and you can't have this time to have some time together and to express gratitude, perhaps being able to get up a little bit earlier to create that for yourself. Because my husband and I, we normally have it unless, he's flying out to catch a really early class, but just because of our lifestyles, and we live on the lake and we have a hot tub. So summertime, wintertime, we start our mornings out with freshly brewed coffee sitting out at the lake. I mean, there's nothing better than that in my mind. And we are in nature and we just express so much gratitude. Every morning we say we are so grateful for this. And it's something, we worked hard. We created it. I wrote about it in my newsletter last week. It's not like it just happened. I mean, it wouldn't have just happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we're in gratitude for it. And I want to help others find how to do this themselves. And that's why I have you here. That's why, I've created this program, because isn't this possible for anyone, no matter where they are, to create some kind of state of inner joy of, in what we had shared that we were going to share, to be able to relax into a state of joy, harmony, and equilibrium with the wealth we have. So when you say that, are you saying that anyone can experience this state of joy, no matter what?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things for myself as a masculine person, which really helps Suzanne more as a feminine person, is the other part of the dynamic which makes attraction happen even stronger, sparks attraction, and that's the dynamic of claim. So claim and surrender. So myself as a masculine person, when I claim who I am, what my purpose is in life, what my goal is, what my mission is, what my biggest reason for living is, how do I want to serve myself, my family, and the world? When I claim that and own that and hold that as a noble gesture, as a warrior, then what happens is it opens up, it creates a beautiful effect, a cascading opening where Suzanne then naturally feels like surrendering. She doesn't have to hold that heavy-duty-handed masculine energy. When I hold my masculine energy and claim life from passion, from integrity, from love, then it evokes in Suzanne, the feminine part, my feminine side, who Suzanne is, it evokes in her the feeling of surrender, letting her relax and letting her be the feminine and flow with her heart, flow with her love. So, but if I'm not holding my own, if I'm not having a direction, a purpose, and I'm just floundering, then it causes Suzanne to get rigid and become stiff in her masculine because I'm not holding that side. Someone's got to hold it. And then what happens is the relationship starts to get stiff and tense, and the passion wears away when there's two masculine people or people are just all over the place. But someone's got to hold the direction more so. Someone's got to hold the surrender more so. And when both partners know how to do that as an art form, out of love, not out of weakness, not of old cemented roles from the old days, but out of choiceful, playful, let's spark each other today. Okay, I'm going to play more surrender. You play more direction. You play more claim. Like more the ravisher and the ravishee. The more one can play that dynamic in a relationship, the more exciting it is for a lifetime, not just for a quick, a quick relief.
Right, right. So, I mean, this whole idea is playful and it is fun because life is supposed to be fun. And we all know that. We are in a high vibrational frequency when we're in joy. And so we can attract more, we can give more, and we're healthier, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. And, you know, when Satyen was speaking of what he does as a masculine person, what I do as a feminine person is I hold that surrender as a powerful offering from my power, from my strength, from my awareness that I am good enough, that I do take care of myself and love myself and know that I am the best that I can be with that intention, with that loving of who I am. I surrender open in joy and in appreciation that I have this offering to give, because what surrender is like I say, from this strength, it is an absolute offering to my partner. It's saying, I trust you to ravish me and take me and, you know, bring pleasure to our lives. And I too bring pleasure to our lives through my acquiescing from my strength and saying, yes, yes, beloved, I'm willing to go to the next level with you. And when I do that, the passion just soars. I mean, it's just so alive with us. And this is where our attraction level for each other, it just goes to a whole new level.
Okay, I have a question for you, because one of the things we wanted to talk about is why it's important to raise a nation of radiant women. And,
Absolutely.
well, and I notice, you know, it's easier, I guess, for a man to be able to stand in his sacred masculine and his power, because men are raised to be strong and powerful and leaders and, you know, just the way they play as kids and all the way through school. Now, women, what I noticed once, and Suzanne, tell me if this makes sense to you, is that, you know, as women, you know, we are these feminine sexual beings, and I watched I was at a conference and I was outside and there was a gathering and I saw this little girl, they were playing music and she started dancing just to the sound of the music, and it was beautiful, but it freaked her dad out. Her dad ran over, grabbed her and made her sit down. And I thought, oh no. So right away she's being told, no, don't act like that. You need to hide those feelings. You need to not express yourself. Can you tell me if I was picking up on something here?
Yeah, you know, that's a really good example of what has happened traditionally with feminine people who just generally, you know, the movement of life is alive in us. We are life itself. We are the very movement, texture, feeling, sounds, vibrations of life. And so when we pick that up in our space, we're just naturally moved to groove with that. And we surrender naturally to what is our very essence. And so this is what this little girl was picking up on. She was picking up on the sound of her own heart and moving to that and being the brightest light that she can be. And, you know, that energy of life force, like, you know, like a tsunami of energy, can, as beautiful as the ocean is, it can be also terrifying, you know, to those that don't understand it. And so our job is to be the transmission of that this is not only okay, but this is vital. And this is an energy that is beautiful and is encouraged. And this is why my mission is to awaken and to bring to life radiant beings that are aware of their desire to bring their essence to life, and that it is not only okay, it is welcomed, it is encouraged, it is celebrated. And so that little girl may have been told by her father, who didn't understand her energy, to bring that down, as many of us were. It's not necessarily his fault, it's just not his awareness. And so my intention is to bring awareness and awaken those who know their essence, who know that they're just answering their call and listening to that it is celebrated, and bring it on. Wake that back up. It's okay. Others may not have understood, but we understand. Bring it to life. Bring it back. It is perfect. You are a blessing.
So you have something called peak radiance, and I'm wondering, are there cultures that you've observed where they allow people, they don't shut us down, especially feminine, where this is celebrated and encouraged?
I would say that, all cultures at one time celebrated the sacred feminine, celebrated the fact that we are powerful in our energy, and that this energy is the energy of life itself, and it brings life forth. And so in each and every one of us, it doesn't matter what cultural background you come from, you have that, you have been given, this is your lifeblood. This is a fabric of who you are at your core. And I would say, I came from a Jamaican background, so there's the beat and the rhythm and the colors and the tastes and textures. All of that is very alive in my culture. Originally, where, it all started with the indigenous people and continued in that. And because I was awakened to that as a child. I saw that in theater. I saw that in the music. I saw that in the dance, and felt that growing up. This stayed with me. And, even though over time there were those that didn't understand and tried to squash that and say, you know what, you're being too much. You're being too sexual in your movement. It's not too sexual if you're responsible with that. Sexuality itself is, is beautiful, is awakening. And so I really tended to trust who I was, who I am at my core, and bring that forth in a responsible way. And so I believe that those like myself who really focused in and found that to be true, to be awakened in this way, we are the ones that will be the example for others who know that's true to themselves. And in saying, yes, this is okay, will reawaken everyone, all of humanity, in whatever culture you came from, will awaken through our example. Words are easy, but the example and the showing of it and the demonstration of it and the coaching of that is what will awaken a radiant nation.
So you talk about this coaching. When people work with the two of you, I remember last time we talked about you taking 40 people on a Costa Rica retreat. I've taken women on a Costa Rica retreat, and I can't even imagine. I'd love to imagine what working with the two of you is like. Can you tell us a little bit about what people experience? Just curious.
Our next event that we're doing is one on sex, power, and money, called the Awakened Leader Intensive and Retreat. And we found that, we're all leaders. Everyone listening here, we have to first of all start leading with our own life. And some of us are privileged and are in a position to make a difference, and we're influential and we're serving others in some way. And I feel as servants, as leaders, as ones making an impact, that these three powers, sexuality, relationships, sex and power and money, these three energies that, when we work with people, what we do is the first thing that we do is we find out where are the greatest blocks regarding guilt, regarding things that we've done in the past, regarding our sex, power, and money, which on some level have been, as you shared earlier, imprinted within us, negative ideas around these energies, or perhaps something that we've done in our own life that we were not conscious of earlier, but now we're aware that, that wasn't in my highest integrity. And so we hold back our own abundance, our own love, our own pleasure because of some past incident or experiences that we've been part of. So what we do is we help clear those very deeply, very powerfully. We use a method that we call accelerated evolution, and it shifts consciousness very deeply. We're able to find the root of guilt, the root of trauma, the root of continuous cycles that happen over and over again of whatever people got going on in their life, and we stop it right in its tracks. And once we've stopped it in its tracks from destroying lives, because, these powers, sex, power, and money, when people are on the rise as leaders, they tend to get knocked down by one or two or three of these energies. It's been a warning in yoga for thousands of years that as a leader, we must enlighten these energies rather than just keep them at a base level,
Can you explain what that means? Because that may be important.
Yeah, certainly. So in the ancient philosophy of yoga, sex, power, and money were considered the greatest obstacles for the highest level of evolution and enlightenment, because these powers have so much ego involved. They have so much dark side involved in them. Sex and relationship, there's so much ignorance and unconsciousness and just old baggage that we have. And it's the same around power and influence. We don't know how to share our work, express it in a larger way because we've got, how can I say, contractors and all types of imprints around power, but from the bad side, from the negative side. Like, when we see the movie Star Wars and we hear about the Dark Force, well, that's the wrong use of our power. When you see, people like the dark side or Darth Vader, right? But
right.
Then there's the light side. And this also goes true with money. There's the dark side and the unconscious side, the hurting side around money, the feelings of lack, the feelings of no matter how much some people that we coach, make millions of dollars, and yet they still feel fearful and lack and they gain and lose. So what we do is...
Or they hoard.
Exactly. And so what we do is we stop those negative cycles in their tracks. We dissolve them right out of people's minds and hearts and bodies. We believe that those negative imprints are made in the mental level, the emotional level, and also on a physical sensation level, on a cellular level, like you were sharing about earlier with Bruce Lipton's work. So we have a very powerful way to remove those, those old, long-standing things which are just crimping our energy. That's just the first part. Then once those are released, then our next step is we expand those energies, and we talk about three stages. The first stage is ego, me. The second stage is we, it's sharing and altruism. And then the third stage is for the sake of the whole universe, for all beings everywhere. So there's a way that we can ascend our paradigm and our intentions and our mastery of sex, power, and money, going from the first stage of ego to the second stage of we to the third stage of our deepest, most profound destiny. How are we meant to be? What is our greatest destiny as servants of light, servants of consciousness? And really that's what we help people not only get to, but attain and to build out a roadmap of activating that energy of sex, power, and money in the most highest enlightened way so that their personal lives prosper beyond imagining and that they become the greatest contribution for society.
And do you do this in corporate as well as these off-site retreats?
Yes, absolutely. You know, we work with companies to help grow their culture, bringing in these, you know, ancient wisdoms, but in a very practical, usable way.
Right.
And we do this also with, you know, leaders at retreats that we take around the world.
Yeah. So and then you have tell us the Warrior Sage. If people go there, what kind of things will they find? Is there something that they can access to learn more about you, or?
Yeah, certainly. You know, at our website, warriorsage.com, all our events are by invitation only, and we have an invitation list to be part of. And so simply go to warriorsage.com, and if what we're saying inspires you, you can find out about the next Awakened Leader Intensive, and there's a nice write-up there and lets you know all the details about it. And you can apply there, and Suzanne and I will get a hold of you personally and find out, you know, if it's a really good match and if it's going to serve you.
Do you have anything like I didn't ask you this and I should have, but any kind of like free gift or some blogs or something that they can read?
Yeah, certainly. So that's all at warriorsage.com, and we have an online community. So once you sign up there to be part of our online community, you'll be given access to our private Facebook page where we have Suzanne's sharings, my sharings. We have hundreds of videos, all free, on talks that Suzanne and I have given, seminars. There's just a lot of great resources for everyone to be able to apply sex, power, and money in the most highest way in their own personal and professional lives.
Yeah, so I joined your Facebook group, and I really like it because I'm very picky. I don't belong to many of them because you can get overwhelmed, you know, with that kind of thing. So, so what do you think the biggest thing that's missing in our society today? Why aren't people naturally, finding themselves in this flow? Cause you talk about going with the flow, or what you actually said is to let go of excessive power. And because you said it's silently exerting us. Is that the same as going with flow? And why is it so many of us feel we have to force? Is it a fear?
Yes, exactly. So many of us have been caught or are caught in this rat race of continuous willful effort, strong will, pushing, fighting, forcing. And that type of mindset, that type of energy does bear some type of results, but it's extremely masculine and forward. And the problem is anything that we do that's extreme in one energy, like masculine and forward and pushing and striving and willpower, yes, we may get some type of benefit, but also there'll be a detriment, a balancing force where it could be that we start disassociating in our relationships because we're forcing ourselves so hard in work and business. It could be that our own personal health suffers and our self-love and our appreciation for life and the simple things suffer because we're pushing and striving and trying to beat the door down to success or abundance. But there is a much more profound, easier way, and we call that the state of equilibrium. And equilibrium is knowing that there's another power within us, that there's willpower, which is good and very valuable, but it should be only given in certain measure. There's another power called the power of external intention. And external intention is where we align ourselves at a soul level to our mind. We bring ourselves into soul and mind unity, not just our mind, what our mind wants, not just what our soul wants, but having our soul and mind unite in harmony. Then what's amazing is, Katana, is that the very dreams that we desire, the goals we desire, they start coming to you through synchronicity. Love starts coming. Abundance starts coming. True reach, true power, enlightened influence starts happening because you're not pushing. You're emanating a power of grace. You're emanating a power of deep patience. Your oscillation and frequency is beyond everyone else, and you become a magnet to the highest expression of joy, love, and freedom, rather than the old school ideas of it.
See, at the beginning of the show that I told you, that is what I am, like, that's my quest right now, is being able to tap into source. And I think when you talk about combining mind and soul, mind would be, your goals and, your intellect and being conscious. But this idea of being able to combine the soul, which to me is God, and it's access to the universal consciousness. When we can get at that point, and I know I've been there before, sometimes I find myself feeling disconnected again, right? And so I do a daily practice. It brings me into that flow. And when we can be in that flow, you're right. It's like dancing with the universe, and everything is just magical. Everything.
Exactly.
Even mistakes, even lessons. You go, wow, okay. Right?
Yes, absolutely right. Because there are no mistakes. They are actually what you use to propel you forward into evolving into the next layer of brilliant, magnificent being that we are all inherently. And so to have that experience of soul and mind unity is also when we utilize whatever it is that's going on in our life as an opportunity to move forward.
Yeah, and otherwise, don't you see that people will get tied up into regret or into anger or resentment when they don't understand that this mistake may be, like this mistake, you fail, something happens. It may be the universe going, you're just on the wrong path. You need to go over here. I'm trying to tell you. And then you go over there and you're scared and you go, I'm going to trust, right? And you go, and then all of a sudden the perfect opportunity comes into play, and I think we have to learn to trust that.
Yeah, what you're saying is absolutely right. And you'd asked a question of what is it that we find is missing right now? And really what we find is missing is there's a lot of great information out there, but there is what we provide is you actually having an experience of mind and soul unity where you can actually tap into that and utilizing, you were speaking of disappointment or frustration that you have when you, in quotations, fail at something. And for us, it's about really utilizing whatever shows up for you. If you have an emotion of sadness or frustration or upset, whatever upset you have that's going on in your life, that is a tool. That is something that we utilize to an accelerated evolution to help you move forward in your life. So every single thing is powerful because every part of you, you've heard this thing, you're so perfect. We really are so perfect. And so to utilize whatever it is that shows up in our life as an opportunity to move forward and have that experience of soul and mind unity. The experience is what you will remember. It's the experience that you will use to move you forward.
Beautiful. And that I think gives people hope.
Absolutely.
So we've only got a minute here. I always like to ask our guests to leave a tip. Do you have just a brief tip that you can give in 30 seconds?
Which one was that?
Well, I think the essence of what we have to share is that our lives are meant to be lived fully. So our motto is let's ignite passion,
live freedom,
and embody love. So rather than just talk about it, let's actually ignite it today. Let's live. Let's be the example. Let's see what freedom do we already have and emanate that. And
what love can we embody? And what passion can we ignite with that intention to ignite passion, live freedom, and embody love?
Well, with that beautiful, beautiful sharing from both of you, I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you once again for having us always.
Absolutely. And I know we'll have you back again. So check out warriorsage.com. You can see it will be life-changing. Next week, we have media and platform expert Jackie Lappin. She is going to talk about the secrets to getting booked for speaking engagements. 12 things no speaker should be without. And until then, live with more purpose, passion, and prosperity.
Thank you for joining us here at Smart Women Talk Radio, a place to learn, prosper, and grow. Tune in again next week for another exciting episode of Smart Women on the CTR Network. And remember to live with purpose, passion, and prosperity.